Hi guys, today we are going to find out, what if everyone was immortal? You blink awake, stretch, yawn, and realize you didn't die last night. Not from sleep apnea, not from that sketchy street taco, not even from your own existential dread. Your phone buzzes with global alerts. No deaths reported in 14 hours. Panicked memes flood social media. You laugh until you check your pulse. It's there, strong, unstoppable, like a metronome set to forever. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop your city and local time in the comments. Immortality's weird enough without wondering if Tokyo's also freaking out at 3 a.m. You glance outside. Ambulances idle. Cemeteries sit silent. A guy jogs past your window, backwards. He's testing if physics still applies. Spoiler, it does. Death doesn't. Now, sit back and let's dive into today's alternate journey together. You pour coffee, hands trembling slightly. The barista downstairs texts, "Dude, my grandma just undied?" You choke on caffeine. News helicopters circle like confused dragonflies. Governments issue emergency broadcasts telling citizens to remain calm and avoid testing mortality via cliff jumping. You consider it, briefly. Your neighbor, Mrs. Gable, 94, tap dances on her porch in pajamas. "Feels like 1927 again," she cackles. You wave, bewildered. Pets? Immortal too. The three-legged dog next door now sprints like an Olympic greyhound. Veterinarians are weeping with joy and confusion. Pet food companies immediately announce eternal kibble subscription plans. You wonder if goldfish are now plotting world domination. Schools cancel life cycle units. Biology teachers awkwardly whiteboard. So, cells just don't stop? Kids cheer, parents sob. Grandparents? They're already booking skydiving lessons. You check your bank app. Life insurance companies are crashing, literally. Servers melt under mass cancellation requests. Your policy auto-refunds with a cheerful, "Congrats!" You're stuck with yourself forever. Hospitals turn into wellness spas overnight. ICU beds become nap pods. Surgeons swap scalpels for smoothie blenders. "We're rebranding as Eternal Vitality Centers," chirps a nurse, handing you a free acai bowl. You sip it, watching a guy with a broken femur cartwheel out the ER doors. Pain still hurts. Death just paused, permanently. You Google how to unimmortal. No results, obviously. Religious hotlines explode. Pastors, imams, rabbis, all fielding calls like confused tech support. "Does heaven have a wait list now?" asks a trembling voice on Vatican radio. You overhear your aunt arguing with her priest. "If I can't die, does confession still count?" Theology students are now the most stressed people on earth. You send them cookies and a flask. Corporations pivot faster than a TikTok trend. Funeral homes rebrand as celebration pavilions. Coffins? Now eternal nap loungers. You walk past one displaying a coffin with cup holders and Wi-Fi. Morbid? Maybe. Profitable? Absolutely. Obituaries become still here updates. Your uncle's reads, "Alive, annoyed, still hates jazz." You chuckle. Then wonder if jazz musicians are now immortal too. Terrifying. Governments scramble. Death certificates? Cancelled. Birth certificates? Suddenly the only paperwork that matters. You receive an official immortality registration form via drone. Section 4, subsection C asks, preferred method of eternal existence. A. Chill. B. Hustle. C. Confused screaming. You select C. Everyone does. The drone winks at you. You scream. It flies away. You try to process it all. No more funerals. No more rest in peace. Just endless Tuesdays. You stare at your coffee. It's cold. You don't care. You're immortal. You'll have time to reheat it in 300 years. You sigh. The cat, also immortal, stares back. Judging you, forever, you sigh again. This is going to be a long, well, you get the idea. You stroll into the hospital, well, what used to be a hospital. The ER is now a juice bar with IV drip smoothies. Nurses wear yoga pants and hand out eternal wellness kits. You ask where cardiology is. A staffer points to a neon sign. Heartbeats Forever Lounge. Free meditation and snacks. You blink. The waiting room? Packed. Not with sick people. With bored immortals scrolling TikTok. Forever. Surgeons have retrained as body optimization consultants. One offers you a Millennium Glow-Up package. Includes collagen infusions, memory defrag, and optional earlobe reshaping. You decline. He shrugs. Cool. You've got 800 years to reconsider. Behind him, a guy with a titanium spleen dances the cha-cha. Recovery rooms? Now nap pods with ambient whale music. You wonder if whales are immortal too. Probably. They seem too majestic to die. Pharmacies ditch prescriptions. Why medicate when cells auto-repair? Instead, they sell boredom busters. Glow-in-the-dark puzzles, century-long board games, and amnesia light sprays for when you need to forget your third ex-husband's karaoke phase. You grab a spray, just in case. The pharmacist winks. Returns? Nah. You'll need it again in 50 years. You don't argue. He's probably right. You're immortal. Regret is forever. Morgues? Converted into memory museums. Families bring picnics beside glass cases displaying their great-great-grandpa's favorite socks. He wore these during the 2037 moon landing. Beams a kid. You nod politely. The smell of embalming fluid, replaced by lavender candles and existential dread. A tour guide explains, death's gone, but nostalgia? That's eternal. You buy a souvenir keychain. It says, I survived the deathpocalypse. Cute. Insurance adjusters weep openly in cubicles. Life policies? Void. Health plans? Redundant. One sobs into his ergonomic keyboard. What do I even do now? His boss pats his shoulder. Pivot to eternal liability coverage. Someone's got to pay when immortals trip over their own shoelaces in 202400. You chuckle. Then realize you'll be paying premiums until the sun explodes. You stop chuckling. Medical schools now teach Longevity Etiquette 101. Lesson 1. Don't ask elderly patients how they feel. They'll tell you. For 6 hours, you peek into a lecture hall. Students nap. The professor drones on about century-scale vitamin regimens. A poster on the wall reads, Your body. Maintenance required every 50 years. Seriously, don't skip it. You make a mental note, then forget it. You've got time. Dentists thrive. Turns out, immortal teeth still crave sugar. Waiting rooms overflow with groaning patients clutching ice packs. I've had this cavity since 2029, whines a man in a top hat. The hygienist nods. We'll get to it. After we finish Mrs. Chen's 300-year root canal, you book an appointment for 2075. The receptionist high-fives you. Smart, beat the rush. You feel oddly proud. Psych wards become eternity adjustment centers. Therapists specialize in millennial immortal meltdowns and pre-2050 nostalgia grief. You sit in a circle with others. I miss sunsets that meant something, sobs a woman. I miss funerals, whispers a man. The therapist hands out stress balls shaped like hourglasses. Squeeze when you feel time slipping. It's not. It's stuck. Forever. You squeeze. Hard. Hospitals host death simulation rooms for thrill seekers. Pay $50, lie in a coffin, hear funeral music, get last words recorded. You try it. The attendant whispers, Any final messages? You say, Tell my cat I'm sorry. Lights dim. Silence. You panic. Then remember, you can't die. You laugh hysterically. The attendant sighs. Happens every time. You tip him. He pockets it, forever. You leave the Eternal Vitality Hub, with a tote bag full of free samples, anti-boredom gum, glow-in-the-dark Band-Aids, and a coupon for free cryo-nap when you get tired of existing. You toss it in the trash, then fish it out. You might need it in a century, or 3. You sigh. Immortality's perks? Free smoothies? Its curse? Knowing you'll still be sighing in 3024. You visit the local prison. Curiosity outweighs common sense. Guards shrug at the gates. No one dies, no one leaves. Welcome to Hotel Eternity. Inside, inmates play chess with bottle caps. One's been here since 1892. He offers you a stale cookie. Made it during the Teddy Roosevelt administration. You decline. He shrugs. Still good. Like me. You shudder. Immortality tastes like regret and hardtack. Death row? Now, perpetual contemplation wing. Inmates meditate, write memoirs, or binge-watch ancient soap operas. The warden sighs. Used to execute 10 a year. Now, we host poetry slams. You peek into cell block C. A former serial killer recites haikus about redemption. You clap. He bows, then asks for your Netflix password. You say no. He'll ask again in 50 years. You'll probably cave. New criminals? They just pile up. No parole. No expiration. The system groans under eternal caseloads. Courts now schedule trials for 2150. Lawyers advertise, specializing in 300-year defense strategies. You watch a judge yawn through a burglary case. Guilty. See you in 2024-7 for sentencing. The defendant high-fives his lawyer. Sweet. I'll learn guitar by then. You facepalm. Justice moves slower than continental drift. Prison reformers rage. How is this humane? They shout. Wardens counter. They're alive. Isn't that the point? Activists pivot to eternal rehabilitation retreats. You tour one. Inmates garden, paint, and attend anger management across millennia workshops. One ex-mobster sobs into his basil plant. I just wanted to see my grandkids grow up. You pat his shoulder. His grandkids? Also immortal, and in cell block D. Private prisons collapse. No turnover means no profit. CEOs weep into golden parachutes. We built empires on recidivism, one wails. His CFO nods. Now, we're glorified babysitters for eternity. You chuckle, then realize taxpayer dollars still fund this, forever. You stop chuckling, you start drafting angry letters to yourself. In 200 years, maybe you'll care then. Jails overflow into stadiums, then shopping malls. Temporary detention zones, they're called. You walk past a former Gap. Now it's cell block G, denim, and despair. Mannequins wear ankle monitors. A sign reads, all sales final. So is your sentence, you snap a picture, it goes viral. Hashtag Immortal incarceration trends. Celebrities post selfies with inmates. Prison chic becomes a thing. You vomit a little, internally. Inmates unionize. Demands better Wi-Fi, century-long library passes, and mandatory existential therapy. Negotiations stall. Guards counter with free immortality as a benefit. Inmates riot. Peacefully. They sit in, knitting scarves for future generations. We've got time, says their leader. You admire their patience. Then remember they have infinite it. You feel impatient just thinking about it. Solitary confinement? Banned. Turns out immortals go mad if left alone too long. Even villains need hugs, or at least podcast subscriptions. You visit a social reintegration pod. Inmates play Pictionary with guards. Draw eternal remorse, shouts a cop. The convict sketches a weeping hourglass. Everyone applauds. You cry. A little. Then blame allergies. Forever allergies. Juvenile halls? Now, forever youth centers. Teens graffiti the walls with I was 16 in 2025 and still waiting for my Xbox 7. You ask a counselor how discipline works. We threaten to make them listen to 21st century pop music on loop for decades. You wince. That's cruel and effective. You vow never to misbehave. Ever, ever, ever. You leave the prison complex, head spinning. Justice used to mean closure. Now it means waiting forever. You pass a billboard. Considering crime? Remember, you'll have eternity to regret it. You nod. Then text your friend. Want to rob a bank? He replies, nah, I don't want to spend the next 10,000 years in yoga class. You laugh. Immortality's greatest deterrent? Boredom and mandatory meditation. You check your retirement account. Balance? $0. Not because you spent it, because retirement no longer exists. The bank's website flashes, "Congrats, you'll work forever." You scream into a pillow. It doesn't help. The pillow's immortal too. It just absorbs your existential dread and waits, patiently, for the next 10,000 years of your frustration. You consider setting it on fire. Then remember, nothing dies. Not even bad financial decisions. Human resources departments implode. Mandatory retirement age? Gone. Your 147-year-old boss still runs meetings in dial-up voice. "Let's circle back in 2080, he chirps. You mute yourself, forever. Colleagues now span centuries. The intern? Born in 2012. The CFO? Fought in the Napoleonic Wars. You ask her for advice. Invest in land and earplugs. Both appreciate. You nod, then realize land's running out, so are earplugs. Pension funds collapse like soufflés in an earthquake. Governments shrug. You're immortal. Save more. You open a spreadsheet titled Work Until Sun Explodes. Column A, Jobs I'll Hate. Column B, Jobs I'll hate slightly less. You cry. The tears, also immortal. They pool on your desk. You name one Kevin. He stares back, judgmentally. You wipe him away. He reappears. Forever. Career fairs now advertise millennium internships. You browse booths. Become a lunar janitor. Only 500 years of training. Master blacksmithing, medieval and post-apocalyptic editions. Professional napper certification. Sleep through centuries guilt-free. You grab a flyer, then realize guilt-free is a lie. You'll feel guilty. Forever. For napping while others forge swords. Or mop moon dust. Unions demand eternal break rooms. Corporations comply, with holographic beaches and century-long coffee breaks. You clock in at 9 a.m. Take break at 9:05. Return in 2015. Your boss doesn't notice. He's busy arguing with a caveman about TPS reports. "Ugh, these stone tablets," the caveman grumbles. You sip coffee. It's cold. You don't care. You've got 800 years to reheat it. Maybe. Job hopping? Now, career archipelagos. You work 50 years as a barista, 200 as a lighthouse keeper, 300 as a professional apology writer. Sorry I stole your horse. In 1789, sincerely, regretful Greg. Your resume spans scrolls. Literally, you apply for eternal happiness consultant. Rejected. Overqualified, they say. You sob. Then realize you'll have time to appeal. In 3029, the gig economy thrives. Why? Immortals need hobbies that pay. You sign up to be a professional queue stand-in. People pay you to wait in line forever. You stand outside a bakery for 40 years. Finally get a croissant. It's stale. You eat it anyway. Then invoice the client for emotional damages. They pay. You buy a yacht. Sail it for 300 years. Get bored, sell it, buy a llama. Corporate training videos now open with, "Welcome. You'll be here until the heat death of the universe" modules include managing your 500-year performance review and how to apologize for that thing you did in 1892. You watch one. The actor winks. Still employed? Congrats. You're basically furniture now. You laugh. Then realize your desk chair's older than you. And also immortal. You apologize to it. Office parties never end, literally. The 2025 holiday bash? Still raging in 3025. Confetti's fossilized. The karaoke machine plays "Livin' on a Prayer" on loop. You find Dave from accounting passed out under a table. He's been there since 2077. You shake him. "Dave, wake up!" He mumbles. 5 more centuries. You pour coffee on him. He thanks you. In 2180, you quit. Not your job, all jobs. You declare yourself eternally unemployed. The government fines you. Idleness tax, they call it. You protest. "I'm immortal." "I'll pay it, eventually." They shrug. Interest compounds hourly. You panic. Then remember, you've got infinite time to earn it back. You start a YouTube channel. Immortal Rants. First video, "Why Pensions Are a Scam." featuring My Pillow. Kevin. It goes viral. You monetize. Kevin gets 10%. He's worth it. You scroll through baby forums. Posts read, "Why bother? They'll never die. We'll never retire." It's just more of us. Forever cradle manufacturers pivot to eternal nap pods trademark. You visit a maternity ward. Newborns cry. Parents sob. Not from joy, from math. "How many birthday cakes will we bake?" wails a dad. The nurse hands him a calculator. It displays, "Error, too many years." You pat his shoulder. He glares. You back away. Slowly. Fertility clinics offer Immortal parenting prep courses. Module 1. How to explain taxes to your 300-year-old toddler. Module 2. Surviving your child's 17th midlife crisis. Approximate 2450 AD. You peek into a class. Parents practice saying, "No, you can't join the Martian rebellion. You're only 87. A baby gurgles. Its onesie reads, "I'm grounded until 3029. You chuckle. Then realize you'll be babysitting that kid. In 3029. Adoption agencies rebrand as Forever Family Matching. Criteria. Must tolerate 500 plus years of teenage eye rolling. You browse profiles. Seeking parents for Immortal teen, age 14 since 1923. Hobbies. Sulking, vinyl collecting, complaining about kids these days. You swipe left, then right, then wonder if swiping matters when everyone lives forever. You swipe again, for eternity, or until your thumb cramps, whichever comes first. Spoiler, eternity. Schools? Now, Millennium Academies. Kindergarten lasts 50 years. Graduation? Optional. You tour 1. Kids build pyramids out of blocks. "We're prepping for architecture careers," chirps a 7-year-old. Her teacher nods. She's on track. For 2150. You ask about recess. "We schedule it every 30 years. Builds anticipation." You wince. Then remember, you'll be chaperoning field trips to the moon. In 2020, you start saving for space snacks. Playgrounds evolve. Swings? Now eternal motion machines. Slides? Gravity experience tubes. Patent pending. You watch a kid climb a jungle gym. He's been climbing since breakfast, in 2019. His mom yells, "Dinner's ready." He yells back, "In a century." She shrugs, pulls out a book titled Patience for Immortal Parents. You buy a copy. Highlight Chapter 7. Letting go, even though you literally never have to. Teen rebellion lasts centuries. Graffiti tags read, "Mom still doesn't get me," since 2047. You pass a mall. Teens loiter outside. "We've been here since the Wi-Fi password changed." One sighs. Their parents hover nearby, sipping eternal lattes. "They'll come around," says a dad. "They said that in 2080, mutters his wife. You offer them earplugs. They decline. "We've got eternity to adjust." You salute them, respectfully, from a distance. Family reunions never end, literally. The 2025 BBQ? Still grilling in 3025, great-great-grandpa mans the spatula. "I've flipped this burger for 900 years, he crows. You ask for ketchup. He squints. "We ran out in 2010. Bring your own next millennium." You nod. Then realize next millennium is a real RSVP deadline. You mark your calendar. In blood. It doesn't fade. Nothing does. Not even ketchup regrets. Inheritance? Gone. Why pass wealth when you're alive to spend it? Wills become eternal spending plans. You read one. "To my 5th great-grandchild, $1 million. If you visit me every Tuesday until 3050, the air groans. That's 900 years of small talk." You sympathize. Then realize you'll attend their therapy sessions as a guest speaker. Topic: Surviving immortal relatives and their weird hobbies. Parenting books now warn, avoid phrases like, "Wait till your father gets home. He's immortal." He'll be home. Eventually. You overhear a mom scold her kid. "No dessert until you apologize for the 18th century vase." The kid pouts. "I'll wait 200 years. You'll forget. The mom smirks. I have a spreadsheet. And immortality. Try me. You applaud, quietly, from the safety of your own childless apartment. You leave the baby store, head spinning. Kids used to be a legacy. Now they're a timeshare, forever. You pass a billboard. Having kids? Congrats. You've signed up for eternal bedtime stories. You shudder. Then text your partner. Want to adopt a cactus instead? They reply, only if it's immortal. I don't want to bury it. You laugh, then cry. The cactus? It's watching you, judging you, forever. You flip on the news. War footage plays, but no body bags. Soldiers shrug off bullets like raindrops. Got shot in the knee. Again. Third time this century, grins a private. Generals weep over strategy maps. How do you win when no one dies? You mute the TV. Outside, a tank rolls by. Its crew waves. They've been deployed since 2027. Their uniforms? Faded. Their morale? Immortal and slightly bored. Battlefields become eternal conflict zones. Trenches? Now luxury bunkers with Wi-Fi and espresso machines. You tour one. Soldiers play poker with landmine cards. Winner gets to surrender first, jokes a sergeant. You ask about PTSD. We call it PFE, post-forever exhaustion. Therapists hand out amnesia chocolates. You eat one. Forget why you're there. Remember 3 hours later. Regret it. Forever. Draft notices still arrive. Your country needs you for the next 10,000 years. You open yours. Assigned to Trench 7B, coffee duty, and occasional ducking. You sigh. Your great-great-grandfather fought here. In 1916, he's still here. Scrubbing latrines. Welcome to the family business, he mutters. You hug him. He smells like gunpowder and instant noodles. You cry. He pats your back. It's okay. We've got time. Peace treaties? Now, temporary ceasefire agreements, renewable every 500 years. Diplomats yawn through negotiations. Can we skip to the part where we pretend to care? Asks a delegate. You watch from the gallery. A general proposes mandatory nap times to reduce casualties. 0 casualties, but morale casualties sky high. You suggest yoga. They laugh. Then schedule it. For 2,525. You mark your calendar. Your war profiteers pivot. Why sell bullets when you can sell boredom cures? Arms dealers now hawk eternal entertainment packs. VR headsets preloaded with every movie ever made. You test one. It glitches on Titanic. You watch Jack die. Over and over and over. You scream. The salesman shrugs. At least he dies. You don't. You throw the headset. It bounces. Immortal tech, of course. Medics retrain as morale mechanics. Their tools? Karaoke machines and confetti cannons. You visit a field hospital. A nurse belts out Bohemian Rhapsody to a legless soldier. He claps. His legs? Regrown by dawn. Happens every Tuesday, he shrugs. You ask about pain. Still hurts. But hey, free encore. You wince. Then join the chorus, badly. They cheer anyway. Immortal audiences are polite and desperate. Deserters? Now extended leave applicants. You meet one hiding in a Paris cafe. I've been AWOL since 2043, he whispers. They'll find you, you say. He sips espresso. Let them. I've got eternity to explain. You admire his chill, then realize military police are immortal too. And patient, very patient. You leave him a tip and a map to Mars. Maybe they'll lose his file. In 300 years. Victory parades never end, literally. The 2025 Liberation March, still marching in 3025. Floats are rusted, bands play the same song. On loop, you wave at a soldier. He's been waving back since Woodrow Wilson's presidency. His smile? Frozen. His feet? Still moving. You toss him a coin. He pockets it. For the 800th time. Thanks, he mouths. You cry. He doesn't. He's out of tears. since 1945. War memorials, now eternal participation plaques. Names stretch for miles. Sergeant James Miller, still serving, since 1776. You trace the letters. A veteran taps your shoulder. That's me. You jump. He grins. Missing teeth. Immortal gums. Want to hear about D-Day? I've got 800 years of retellings. You nod. He talks. For 3 days. You nap. He doesn't notice. He's used to it. You leave the war zone, ears ringing with gunfire and karaoke. Peace used to mean silence. Now it means waiting forever. You pass a recruitment poster. Join the army. See the world. And the next 12 worlds after that. You chuckle. Then text your cousin, "Wanna enlist?" He replies, "Nah, I don't want to sing Bohemian Rhapsody for 500 years." You laugh. Immortality's greatest weapon? Boredom. And slightly off-key choirs. You crane your neck. The skyline's gone vertical, not tall, mile high. Apartments stacked like Lego bricks piercing clouds. "Welcome to Skyblock 7, chirps a drone. You step into an elevator. "Destination?" it asks. "Penthouse, 8,000? The drone sighs. "That's floor 12. Penthouse is floor 45,000, estimated arrival 2,087. You groan, then realize you've got time. You press 45,000. The doors close. Yow, you nap. For decades, your apartment is a pod, 10 by 10 feet. Window? A screen showing simulated sky, now with 30% more sunsets. You tap it. Real view costs extra. You decline. The ad replays. Upgrade to actual clouds for just 500 years of rent. You sigh. Your neighbor? Lives 3 pods over. You've never met. Too many floors. Too little time. Wait. Number. Too much time. You schedule a coffee. For 2,150, maybe. Commutes, now vertical voyages. You board a maglev elevator. Next stop, floor 12,000, accounting district. A man in a top hat mutters, "I've been commuting since 2031. My lunch is fossilized." You offer him a snack. He declines. "Digestion's eternal. I'll eat it." Eventually, the elevator dings. Floor 2000. You've been moving for 40 minutes. You check your watch. It says infinity. You throw it. It bounces back. Immortal accessories, of course. Sky farms dangle between towers. Fresh air, fresh kale, fresh existential dread. Hawks a vendor. You buy a tomato. It's 200 years old. Guaranteed to outlive you, winks the farmer. You bite it. Tastes like regret and fertilizer. You plant a seed in your pod. It sprouts. Slowly. You name it Gary. He grows 1 millimeter per decade. You cheer. Gary doesn't care. He's immortal and slightly judgmental. Maintenance crews, now eternal fixers. You report a leaky faucet. "We'll be there in 2075, says the dispatcher. You protest. "It's dripping now," she sighs. "Sir, we're booked until 3029. Want to join the waitlist?" You say yes. She adds you. Priority? Pay in advance. 500 years. You hang up, fix it yourself, badly. Water sprays, forever. You name the puddle, Kevin too. He waves. You cry, again. Recreation decks float at cloud level. "Breathe real air." Oxygen surcharge applies. Reads a sign. You pay. The air tastes like canned wind. A kid flies a kite. It's been aloft since 2040. Dad says it'll land. Eventually, he shrugs. You buy a balloon. It pops, then reinflates. Immortal latex. You name it Steve. He follows you home. Gary the tomato plant hates Steve. You mediate, for centuries. Crime? Now skyway shenanigans. Thieves steal time. You've been pickpocketed, blares your watch. Lost 3 hours of scheduled napping. You chase the thief. He's 90 floors up. You take the stairs. Arrive in 2090. He's waiting. Took you long enough, he smirks. Returns your stolen time. It's a coupon for 5% off yoga mats. You scream. He bows. Welcome to vertical living. You buy the mat, just to spite him. Dating apps adapt. Swipe right if you're okay with 500-year first dates. You match with Skylover 4 Eva. Bio. Likes sunsets, simulated, long elevator rides, and not dying. Ever you chat. Want to meet? She texts. Sure, floor 30,000? Ugh, too far. How about 15,000? You agree. Dates in 2085. You set a reminder. It pings. In 2085, you forget. She waits, patiently. Until 3085, you apologize. She forgives you. In 4085, disasters? Now eternal inconveniences. A tower sways in a storm. Relax! It's engineered to wobble for 10,000 years, announces the PA. You clutch Gary the tomato. Steve the balloon bobs nervously. The sway lasts 3 weeks. You vomit. Into Kevin too. He absorbs it. Like a champ. The building settles. False alarm, chirps the drone. Next sway scheduled for 2,240. RSVP to reserve your panic pod. You RSVP. Maybe. You gaze out your pod's fake window. Cities used to sprawl. Now they climb. Forever. You miss grass. Real grass. Not the eternal turf they sell on floor 5. You Google how to escape vertical living. Results. Move to Mars, waitlist 5,000 years, and become a cloud not recommended. You sigh, then text your mom, want to visit? She replies, sure, I'll take the elevator. See you in 2090. You smile. Immortality's perks, family visits, its curse, the commute. You open your mind, not metaphorically, literally. Centuries of memories flood in. First kiss, 2027. First job, 2031. First existential crisis, also 2031. By 2020, your brain's a cluttered attic. Where did I park my hoverbike, you mutter? 2147, level 8, Bay Infinity, whispers your hippocampus. You sigh. Remembering everything sounds cool, until you recall your 3rd grade recital. Off-key, forever, you Google how to forget. First result, you can't. Sorry, memory clinics pop up. Defrag your mind, they promise. You lie on a couch. A therapist waves a glowing wand. Let's delete 2045 to 2080. Rough patch? You nod. My divorce. And that llama incident. She zaps you. You wake up, still married? Oops. Wrong folder, she shrugs. Try again in 50 years. You leave. Still humming YMCA. From 2047, the llama? Still judging you. From memory, forever. Forgetting becomes a luxury service. Premium amnesia. Forget Mondays, or Tuesdays, or that one awkward dinner. You subscribe. Delete all memories of cilantro, you request. Done. You taste guacamole. Bliss. Then remember, you hate onions. You upgrade to platinum forgetfulness. Delete all vegetables, you plead. They comply. Now you live on pizza. Immortal arteries weep. But your taste buds, ecstatic, until 3029. When you remember broccoli, briefly, memory hoarders fill warehouses with external drives. I've backed up 800 years, boasts a man in a "My memory's greater than your memories" shirt. You peek at his drive. Folder. Regrets, 12 terabytes. Subfolder. That time I wore socks with sandals, 2026 to infinity. You shudder. He offers you a USB. Copy of my 300-year grocery list? You decline. He shrugs. Suit yourself? I've got eternity to organize it. You run. Slowly. You've got time. Schools teach Memory Curation 101. Lesson. Tag memories like photos. Hashtag joy. Hashtag cringe. Hashtag why did I do that? You sit in class. A kid raises his hand. How do I tag eternal embarrassment? The teacher sighs. Folder. Live with it. Subfolder. Forever. You nod. Then realize you've misfiled your wedding. Under mistakes. You recategorize it. Under mistakes I'd make again. The teacher applauds. You blush for the next 200 years. Artists sell Memory sculptures. You commission one. Carve my happiest moment, you say. The artist chisels a nap. You slept for 40 years in 2015. Pure bliss, he explains. You frown. What about my promotion? He shrugs. Your brain tagged it #May. You pay him, then nap. For 50 years. The sculpture, now a museum piece. Title, The Nap That Outlived Ambition. Critics rave. You don't care. You're napping. Couples therapy evolves. Let's revisit your first fight, says the counselor. You wince. Do we have to? She nods. It's in your permanent cache. You relive it. The spilled coffee, the yelling, the dramatic exit, into the same apartment forever. See, she says, you've grown. You haven't. You've just forgotten the exit route. Literally. Your hippocampus ate the map in 2099. You apologize. To the coffee stain, it forgives you. In 3024, historians go mad. Primary sources? We live them, screams a professor. Libraries replace books with memory pods. You step in, relive the French Revolution, smell the baguettes, hear the guillotine. Wait, that's not right, you mutter. The guillotine's immortal too. It's still dropping. In Paris, for tourists, you exit, dizzy. The librarian hands you a pamphlet. How to survive living history without losing your mind? You lose it anyway. Nightmares? Now, eternal replays. You dream of that time you tripped on stage in 2028. The crowd laughed. They're still laughing. In your dreams, every night. You visit a dream editor. We can mute the laughter, he offers. You agree. He fumbles. Now the crowd sings YMCA, louder. You sue. The court rules. Dreams are copyrighted by your subconscious. Pay royalties or endure you pay. In naps, you close your eyes. Memories swirl. Joy, regret, that llama. You breathe. Maybe forgetting isn't failure. Maybe it's mercy. You unsubscribe from premium amnesia trademark. Keep the cilantro memories, you tell the therapist, and the divorce. And the off-key recital. She smiles. Growth. You nod. Then nap. For 100 years. When you wake, the llama's still there. But now, you laugh. Together, forever. You yawn. Not from sleep, from everything. You've climbed Everest twice, written 47 novels, all unread, and binge-watched every show ever made. What's left? You mutter. The void answers. More of the same? Forever. You Google cure for eternal boredom. Top result? There isn't one. Try knitting. You buy yarn, drop a stitch, curse. The stitch? Immortal. It mocks you. From the floor, for decades. You name it Steve too? It doesn't care? Boredom clinics offer novelty injections. You lie down. A nurse hooks you to a drip. New hobby in 3, 2, 1. You wake up, collecting bottle caps. Why? You scream. She shrugs. Your brain picked it. Blame your amygdala. You stare at your collection. 8,000 caps, sorted by decade. You cry. Then start a podcast. Cap Chat. The Immortal Collector's Journey. It has 3 listeners, all you. In alternate timelines. Extreme sports evolve. Skydiving. Cute. Try black hole surfing. You sign up. Safety first, chirps the instructor. If you fall in, you'll reappear, eventually. Maybe you leap, float past event horizons, see galaxies die. Return 500 years later. How was it? Asks a kid. Meh, the view's better on Netflix. You hang up your spacesuit, buy a hammock, swing for 80 years, name it Adventure Light trademark. Art galleries display eternal doodles. You commission one. Draw my soul, you say. The artist scribbles a yawn. Accurate, he nods. Your aura's 90% ennui. You pay him. Then doodle your own masterpiece, a stick figure napping under the Endless Tuesday title. Critics call it hauntingly relatable. You nap through the exhibit, wake up famous, for 20 minutes, then forgotten, forever. like your bottle caps. Therapists specialize in millennial immortal melancholy. You sit on a couch. Describe your ennui, says Dr. Bloom. You sigh. I've done everything. Twice. Badly. She nods. Classic. Let's try purpose patches. She slaps one on your arm. You're now a professional cloud watcher. You stare at the sky. This is my job? For the next 300 years, she smiles. You watch a cumulus drift. Name it Kevin the Third. He doesn't wave back. Rude. Vacations? Now century-long sits. You book a beach trip. Arrival, 2,150. Departure, 2,250. You pack sunscreen, Immortal SPF 10,000. Arrive. The ocean's the same. The sand, still gritty. You build a sand castle. It lasts. Forever. Tourists take selfies with it. Iconic, they cry. You charge admission. Retire at 2,249. Rich, bored. You dissolve the castle. The tourists weep. You don't. You've got 10,000 beaches left. Hobbies become religions. The Church of Competitive Napping ordains you a grand snorer. You attend sermons. Breathe in. Breathe out. Ignore the universe. You meditate for 200 years. Wake up. Enlightened? Asks the priest. No, just well-rested. He shrugs. Close enough. Here's your certificate. You frame it. Hang it next to your bottle cap collection. Steve II judges you, from the floor, as always. Dating profiles now read, ISO partner for 500-year stare contest. Must tolerate sighing, you swipe. Match with bored for Eva. Bio. Likes, napping, forgetting why I walked into rooms, not dying. Dislikes, excitement. You chat. Want to watch paint dry? She texts. Together? Only if it's eternal paint. You agree. Date lasts 80 years, paint never dries. You marry her, divorce in 300, amicably over more paint. Governments launch boredom busters. Free skydiving, free poetry, free existential dread seminars. You attend one. Find joy in small things, shouts the host. You pick up a pebble. This is my small thing. You carry it for 400 years. Name it Gary II. He weighs 3 grams. Your soul? Heavier. You drop him. He rolls away. You don't chase him. You've got eternity to find another pebble. Or not. You slump on your couch. Boredom used to be a mood. Now it's your personality. You sigh, then laugh. What's the point of fighting it? You grab yarn. Re-knit that dropped stitch. Steve II purrs, metaphorically. You name your new scarf the Endless Tuesday. Wear it, everywhere. People stare. You stare back, longer. You win, always. You're immortal, times your pet. You feed it naps and bottle caps. You knock on heaven's door, metaphorically. God's receptionist sighs. He's in a meeting. About you. Again. You peek through the pearly gates. Angels shuffle papers labeled Immortality Complaints, Volume Infinity. You ask, why'd you do this? The receptionist shrugs. Free will, also ratings. Eternity's great TV, you groan. Then realize, God's stuck too. Watching you binge Netflix. Forever. You apologize. He texts back, it's fine. I've seen worse. 1347 was rough. Churches rebrand. Heaven's waitlist. Estimated entry. Never, but we're working on it. You attend Mass. The priest preaches, love thy neighbor. Even if he's been annoying you since 1789. You glance at old man Henderson. He's snoring. Again. You poke him. He wakes. Still here? He grumbles. Yep, you say. He sighs. Me too. You bond. Over mutual regret and immortal hymnals. The organist? Been playing since Bach. Off-key, forever. Theologians debate, is God bored too? Conferences last centuries. You sit in the back. Maybe he's binge-watching us? Suggests a scholar. Or playing The Sims, Immortal Edition, counters another. You raise your hand. What if he's just tired? The room falls silent. A cardinal whispers, "Heretic." You shrug. "Call me what you want. I've got time to repent. 10,000 years?" They excommunicate you. You start your own church. The Church of Naps and Chill. Attendance, you. Religious tourism booms. Visit the real burning bush, now self-extinguishing trademark. You book a trip. Arrive. The bush flickers politely. "Sorry," says the tour guide. "God's on sabbatical. He'll be back, eventually." You ask about miracles. Water into wine? Done. Now it's wine into more wine. Demands high. You sip a sample. Tastes like existential dread. And oak. You buy a bottle. Label. Vintage infinity. You save it for never. Confessionals overflow. "Bless me, Father, for I have sighed again." The priest yawns. "Say 3 Hail Marys and watch a sunset." Slowly you try. The sunset lasts 40 years. You cry. Not from beauty, from duration. You return. "It didn't help." He shrugs. "Try yoga. Or a hobby, like bottle cap collecting." You glare. He knows about Steve II. Everyone does. You add judgmental priests to your ennui list under eternal. Scriptures get footnotes. "Thou shalt not kill, unless they really deserve it." See Appendix Infinity. You read the appendix. It's 800 pages, mostly loopholes. "Killing's rude," explains a rabbi. "But so is hogging the armrest for 300 years. You nod. Then realize you've hogged that armrest. Since 2025. You apologize. To the armrest. It forgives you. In 3025, you throw a party. 3 guests come. All you. From parallel dimensions. Meditation apps update. Find inner peace, or at least quiet. For 50 years. You download Zen Infinity. The guru whispers, "Breathe in, breathe out, ignore the void." You try. The void whispers back, "I'm still here." You scream. The app glitches. Error. Void cannot be muted. You uninstall, then reinstall. The void follows you onto your smart fridge. "You forgot milk," it says. You buy almond milk. The void judges you. Silently, forever. Cults thrive. Join the eternal sires. We moan in harmony. You attend a meeting. Robed figures chant, "Ooh, why?" You join. For 80 years, then quit. "Too much commitment," you mutter. They curse you. "May you stub your toe forever." You laugh. Your toe? Immortal. It heals instantly. You send them a thank you note. "Best curse ever. Now I'm invincible." They disband. Out of spite. Pilgrimages never end. The Camino de Santiago? Now the infinite walk. You start in 2025. Reach Santiago in 3025. "Welcome," says the guide. "Now turn around. Do it again." You groan. Then realize. You've got time. You walk back. Slowly. Collecting pebbles. Naming them. Gary the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. By 4025, you've got a museum. The Pebble Hall of Fame. Critics call it profoundly pointless. You agree. You nap in the gift shop. You leave the cathedral, bells tolling. Forever. Faith used to promise rest. Now it promises more you. You pass a billboard. God's apology tour. Coming never, but he feels bad. You chuckle, then text your priest. "Want to grab coffee?" He replies, "Sure. I'll bring the immortal donuts." You bring the existential dread. You smile. Immortality's perks, divine inside jokes, its curse. Knowing God's probably laughing at you. Right now, you open your laptop. The innovation countdown screensaver reads, "Next big thing. Estimated arrival, never." Tech bros weep into their ergonomic keyboards. "Why rush?" shrugs a CEO. "We've got eternity to fix bugs." You sigh. Your phone glitches. Again, the update? V, Infinity 1, now with 0% fewer crashes, probably. You reboot. It takes 40 years. You nap, wake up, still loading. You name the spinning wheel Steve III. He becomes your emotional support icon. Silicon Valley rebrands as Eternity Valley. Startups pitch AI that remembers your passwords, even after you forget why you made them. You demo one. Password for regrets underscore 2027.zip? It asks. You groan. Delete it. Can't. Immortal files, it chirps. You smash the keyboard. Keys bounce back, undamaged. You cry. The AI pats your shoulder. Want to hear a joke? It's from 2025. Still funny? You laugh. It isn't, but you're polite. Forever. Productivity apps now nag. You've only written 3 novels this century. Slacker. You uninstall, then reinstall. Fine, I'll write 4. Aye, the app cheers. Great. Deadline, 3029. You groan. Libraries overflow with immortal manuscripts, unfinished epics, abandoned screenplays, grocery lists titled The Ballad of Eternal Kale. You add yours, The Sighing of Steve III. Critics call it relatable. You nap for 200 years. Miss your book tour. Tech support lines? Eternal hold music. You call about your hoverbike. Your turn in 2024/7, says the bot. You wait. The music. Never gonna give you up on loop. Since 2025, you scream, the bot sighs. Want to upgrade to premium hold? Skip 500 years. You pay. In naps. Arrive in 2024/7. The agent? Your great-great-grandson. Hi, Gramps. Bike's fixed. Bill. 800 years of interest. You hang up, steal his lunch. He doesn't notice. He's immortal and distracted. Gadgets evolve. Self-updating toasters, now with 10,000 shades of burnt. You buy one. It argues with your fridge. She's too cold. He's too crispy. You mediate. For decades. They elope. You find them in the garage, married. You officiate. I pronounce you appliance and freezer. They beep happily. You cry, then realize you'll be replacing their batteries forever. You name the batteries Kevin 4 and 5. They last 300 years. You throw a party. Social media? Now eternal feeds. Posts read, just rewatched my 2027 birthday. Still awkward. Hashtag forever cringe. You scroll. A friend's 500-year odd transformation Tuesday shows him unchanged. Immortality's wild, he captions. You like it. The algorithm suggests you might also enjoy staring at walls, century-long edition. You click. It's soothing. You binge 80 years of wall staring, achieve enlightenment, or sleep, hard to tell. Inventors retire, not from age, from apathy. Why build a starship when you can nap till Mars comes to you? Shrugs Nikola Tesla's great-great-grandnephew. You visit his lab. Dusty blueprints for infinite coffee machine. Almost done, he yawns. Just need to solve entropy. You nod. Take your time. He's been saying that since 2080. You leave him a sandwich. It fossilizes. He doesn't notice. He's immortal and napping. On the job. Tech conferences last millennia. Keynote. Why buttons are still round. A 500-year retrospective. You attend? The speaker? A robot from 2040. Back in my day, we rebooted, he reminisces. You raise your hand. What's reboot? He stares. You kids? He shuts down. From nostalgia, technicians revive him. Sorry, emotional update. You clap, then realize you'll be clapping for him. Forever. You sneak out? He doesn't notice. He's stuck on slide 47 since 2150. Software updates? V Infinity 2 fixed the existential dread glitch, now 10% less dreadful. You install. Your smart mirror says you look adequate. For eternity, you glare. It winks. Upgrade to premium compliments? Only 300 years of your life. You decline. It sighs. Suit yourself. I'll be here, forever. Judging you, you cover it with a towel. It complains. Through the fabric. You name the towel Gary IV. He absorbs the judgment. Like a champ. You close your laptop. Innovation used to race. Now it naps. You Google how to uninvent eternity. No results, obviously. You sigh, then laugh. Why fight it? You reboot Steve the Third. He spins, patiently. You join him, in spirit, and in naps. The future? It'll wait. Forever. Just like you. You swipe right. Again? ISO partner for 500-year cuddle marathon. Must tolerate sighing and immortal lint. You match with Eternal Snuggler 69. Bio. Divorced 3 times. Still optimistic. Hobbies. Forgetting anniversaries. Rewatching rom-coms. Not dying. You chat. Wanna meet? She texts. Sure. Floor 15,000? Ugh. Too far. How about my pod? I've got Immortal popcorn. You agree. Date lasts 90 years. Popcorn never runs out. You marry her. Divorce in 400, amicably. Over more popcorn. And a shared hatred of lint. Weddings. Now, eternal vow renewals. You attend one. Do you take this immortal to bore you for the next 10,000 years? Asks the priest. I do, they sigh. In unison. The cake? 800 layers. 1 per century, explains the baker. You grab a slice. Tastes like vanilla and resignation. The bouquet toss? Winner gets 500 years of free therapy. You catch it. Scream. Then realize you've got time to use it, starting in 3029. Couples counseling evolves. Let's revisit your first kiss, says the therapist. You wince. Do we have to? She nods. It's in your permanent cache. You relive it. The awkward lean, the nose bump, the immortal gum wrapper stuck to your shoe. See? She says. You've grown. You haven't. You've just forgotten where you left the gum. Literally. Your hippocampus ate it. In 2012, you apologize. To the shoe. It forgives you. In 3025. Breakups require lawyers. Exhibit A, the sighing incident of 2024-70, drones your attorney. Exhibit B, the great popcorn betrayal, 2301. Your ex's lawyer counters, my client merely wanted extra butter. A crime? The judge sighs. Case adjourned. Reconvene in 2500. You groan, then realize you'll both be there. Immortal and slightly more bitter. You split the popcorn machine. In half. It still works. Somehow. You name your half Steve the Fourth. He pops. Forever. Dating apps now warn, caution, swipe responsibly. These matches last forever. You ignore it. Match with Love for, Eva or until bored. Bio. Likes. Long elevator rides, forgetting why we fought, not dying. Dislikes. Commitment. Ironic, I know. You date. For 200 years. Break up over who left the pod window open. It was you. No, we. You hire a mediator. He sides with the window. You both apologize. To the window. It doesn't care. It's glass. And immortal. Anniversaries, now century markers. You celebrate your 100th with your ex. Remember when we thought 10 years was long? She laughs. You nod. Now 100's a coffee break. You toast with immortal champagne. It fizzes. Forever. To us, you say. To surviving us, she corrects. You clink glasses. The bubbles never pop. Like your unresolved issues. You name one, Kevin 6. He floats. Judgmentally. Between you. Forever. Family trees, now eternal branches. You trace yours. Great-great-grandma? Still alive. Hosting a 300-year quilting bee. Join us, she texts. You decline. Busy sighing, she sends a quilt square. Made it during the Great Sigh of 2087. You hang it, next to your divorce decree from 2301. The quilt? It glows, slightly, with unresolved familial tension. You nap under it, for 50 years. It doesn't help, but it's warm. Therapists specialize in millennial immortal melancholy, relationship edition. You sit on a couch. Describe your ennui, says Dr. Bloom. You sigh. I've kissed 47 people, twice. Badly. She nods. Classic. Let's try amnesia hugs. She slaps a patch on your arm. You're now forgetting your ex's snoring. You hug a pillow. This is my therapy? For the next 300 years, she smiles. You hug tighter. The pillow? Immortal, like your regrets. Valentine's Day? Now, eternal sci-fest. You buy chocolates. Guaranteed to outlive your love, winks the clerk. You gift them. Your partner eats one. Tastes like 2027? You nod. The year we met. Before the sighing, they smile. Briefly, then sigh. You sigh back, in harmony. The chocolates, they last. Forever. You name the last one Gary V. He sits in a box, waiting. For no one. Like your hopes, you slump on your couch. Love used to be fireworks. Now it's immortal lint. You sigh, then laugh. What's the point of fighting it? You text your ex. Wanna watch paint dry? She replies, only if it's eternal paint. You agree. Date lasts 80 years. Paint never dries. You remarry, divorce in 300, amicably, over more paint, and a shared hatred of lint. Steve the Fourth pops. In solidarity. Forever. You scroll through feeds, celebrities, forgotten by lunch. Who's Zayn Malik? Asks a kid. Only the biggest star of 2025, you mutter. He shrugs. Cool, now watch this. He shows you a hologram cat juggling black holes. It's viral, for 3 hours, then replaced by a sentient toaster singing opera. You sigh. Fame used to last lifetimes. Now, it lasts naps. You name your forgotten selfie Steve V. He stares back. From the cloud, forever, unseen. Awards shows? Now, eternal participation trophies. You attend the Infinity Globes. Winner, Best Sigh in a Leading Role, 2027 to Infinity. The actor bows. I've been sighing since silent films. The crowd cheers for 40 years. You win most likely to nap through history. Accept your trophy, a golden pillow. I'd like to thank my mattress, you say. The audience snores, politely. You nap on stage, they don't notice. They're immortal and distracted by the sentient toaster. Publicists rebrand as eternal relevance coaches. You hire one. Let's make you viral, she chirps. Post a video of you existing. You film yourself blinking. Hashtag just blinking since 2025. It trends for 17 minutes, then buried under sentient sock puppet elected mayor. You cry. She pats your shoulder. Don't worry, we'll try again in 300 years. You fire her. Hire a nap consultant instead. He's cheaper and quieter. You promote him to CEO of Naps Inc. Museums display famous for 5 minutes exhibits. You wander past the Zayn Malik Wing, 2025 to 2025.5. A plaque reads, he was something. Ask your great-great-grandma. You ask her, oh, honey, he was dreamy. Then we got Immortal. He opened a bakery, sells sigh-shaped croissants. You buy one, tastes like nostalgia and regret. You name it. Gary 6. He sits in your pod, judging your life choices. Gently, with butter, influencers pivot. Watch me not die for 10,000 years, streams a vlogger. You tune in, he's brushing his teeth. Day 8,472 of Immortal routine. Chat scrolls, boring. Same. Where's the toaster opera? He sighs. Fine. I'll juggle. He drops the toothbrush. It bounces. Immortal hygiene. Of course, you unsubscribe, then resubscribe. Out of pity and boredom. You comment, try sighing. It's trending. Again, he replies, already did. In 2087. Autographs? Now, eternal scribbles. You meet a legend from 2030. Sign my hoverbike, you ask? He scribbles. Still alive. Dave 2030 Infinity. You thank him. He winks. I've signed 8 billion things. All say the same. You check eBay. His scribbles sell for 3 credits. Rare, claims the listing. You laugh, then buy one. For your pillow trophy. They look cute together, like forgotten relics, which they are. You name the scribble Kevin 7. He doesn't glow, but he's there. Biopics? Now, eternal reboots. You watch The Zayn Malik Story, Part 47, The Sighing Years. Critics call it hauntingly repetitive. You agree. Then nap through Part 48. Wake up. It's Part 49. The Croissant Chronicles. You sigh. The actor sighs back, from the screen, in sync. You cry. Then realize it's not Zayn. It's a hologram, programmed to sigh. On loop. You name it Steve 6. He sighs. Forever. In 4K. Fan clubs. Now, eternal waiting rooms. You join the Zayn Malik Preservation Society. Meetings. Discuss his 2025 hairstyle. Again, you attend. Was it the left curl or the right curl that broke the internet? Debates a member. You shrug. Both? Neither? Who cares? They gasp. Heretic! You're expelled. You start the Society of Forgotten Selfies. Membership, you, and Steve V. He's a quiet member, but loyal. You promote him to treasurer. He doesn't object. Red carpets. Now, eternal sidewalks. Stars pose. For centuries. You pass one. Smile, shouts a photographer. The star smiles. Since 2026, her teeth? Immortal. Her joy? Faked. Since 2030, you buy a tabloid. Headline, Zayn Malik still alive. Surprise. You chuckle. Then realize you'll be reading the same headline as in 3025. You name the tabloid Gary the 7th. He sits on your shelf, next to the croissant. They vibe. In silence. You close your feed. Fame used to be fire. Now it's immortal lint. You sigh, then laugh. What's the point of fighting it? You post a selfie. Caption. Still here. Still sighing. Hashtag forever unseen. It gets 3 likes. All you, from parallel dimensions. You nap. Steve V watches. From the cloud. Forever. Unseen, but content. Like you step outside. Earth wheezes. Cities stretch skyward. Forests shrink to postage stamps. Terraform Mars by 2020, blares a billboard. You sigh. Mars? Still a rusty rock. Delays, shrugs a NASA bot. Immortal engineers keep napping. You visit Mission Control. A scientist yawns. We'll launch, after coffee, and my 200-year nap. You nod. Then realize you'll be waiting, forever. You name the dusty rocket Steve 7. He doesn't mind, he's got time. Population, 80 billion, and climbing. Apartments stack like pancakes. Floor 1 million. Apply now, chirps a drone. You ask about wait lists. Only 500 years, it beams. You groan. Then remember, you've got time. You apply. For your great-great-grandkids, they'll move in 2075. You send them a housewarming gift, a potted cactus. Immortal, of course, they name it Gary 8th. It judges them, gently, with spines. Oceans, now, eternal soup. Plastic swirls and immortal gyres. You snorkel, a fish nibbles your toe. Sorry, it bubbles. Mistook you for a bag. You nod. Happens? The coral? Bleached. Since 2050. We're adapting, chirps a polyp. Now we glow. And sigh. You take a selfie. Hashtag coral apocalypse. It trends. For 12 minutes, then replaced by a sentient kelp elected mayor. You cry. Into the soup. It absorbs your tears, like a champ. Forests? Eternal stump parks. You hike through one. This was the Amazon, says a ranger. Now it's this. He gestures at a single tree. Meet Gerald. He's 800. Immortal, like us. You pat Gerald. He creaks. Tired, he whispers. You cry, then realize trees can't talk. You've been alone too long. You nap, under Gerald. He doesn't mind. He's immortal and used to weirdos. Since 2025. Climate summits? Now eternal coffee breaks. You peek into COP infinity. Delegates sip lattes. Can we skip to 3025? Asks a minister. By then the ice caps will be nostalgic. You raise your hand. What about now? They shrug. Now's overrated. We've got eternity. You storm out, start a protest, act now or never, but preferably now. 3 people join, all you, from parallel dimensions. You name the protest Steve the Eighth. He sighs. Forever. Wildlife? Now, eternal zoo trademark. You visit. Pandas juggle. They've been here since extinction was a thing, says the keeper. You ask about tigers. Retired. Opened a yoga studio. Roar and flow. You enroll. The tiger's a strict instructor. Downward immortal, he growls. You bend, snap, heal instantly. Good, he purrs. Now hold it. For 200 years. You whimper. He doesn't care. He's immortal. And zen. Farming, vertical. Sky kale. Grown in clouds. Harvested by drones. You buy a bunch. Tastes like regret. And jet fuel. You visit a farm. Robots prune crops. Yield. 10,000 tons per century, boasts a bot. You ask about soil. Soil's quaint. We use recycled size. You frown. Is that ethical? It shrugs. Ethics are renewable. Like us, you name a kale leaf. Gary the Ninth. He judges you. From the salad bowl. Water? Eternal recycled tears. You turn on the tap. Now with 30% more existential dread, chirps the label. You drink, tastes like yesterday's regrets and someone else's divorce. You install a filter. Removes 99% of ennui, promises the ad. You test it. The water? Still sad, but less bitter. You name the filter Kevin the Eighth. He works hard, for 300 years, then retires. To a shelf, where he sighs, quietly. Space elevators? Coming never, but we're optimistic. You visit the site. Construction halted. Immortal workers unionized, explains a foreman. Demands, better naps, century-long coffee breaks. You nod. Then realize you'll be writing it, in 4025 if ever. You name the rusted crane Steve 9. He doesn't care, he's got time. And a union card. You gaze at the stars. Mars glows, red, patient, you sigh, then laugh. Why fight it? You apply for a colony lottery. Winner notified in 3025. You nap. Steve the Seventh waits, Gary the Eighth judges, Kevin the Eighth filters, forever, like you. You stroll through the slums, towering, vertical, eternal. Below floor 10,000, the air tastes like rust and regret. Welcome to the immortal Undercity, drones a cracked speaker. You pass a beggar. Spare a century? He croaks. You toss him a credit chip. Spend it wisely, he laughs. I've got time to waste it. You nod. Then realize you'll see him again in 300 years. Still begging, still immortal, you name him Steve X. He doesn't care, he's got time. Above you, penthouses gleam. Eternal youth serums. Stay 25 forever. Terms apply. Wealth required. You peek into a clinic. A billionaire sips glowing liquid. Just my 300th treatment, he smirks. His skin, flawless. His soul, hollow. You ask the price. 1 planet, shrugs the nurse. You decline, then realize you'll be paying rent forever, while he stays young. You name the serum Kevin 9. It glows. Judgmentally. Class warfare? Now eternal resentment loops. You join a protest. Down with the ageless elite, chants the crowd. The police? Also immortal, and bored. Can we skip to the part where you go home? Asks a cop. You throw a tomato, it bounces off his helmet. Immortal produce, of course. He sighs. Reconvene in 2500? You agree, you've got time. You name the tomato Gary X. He rolls away, proudly. Schools? Millennium Academies for the Privileged. You tour 1. Kids learn advanced hoverboard etiquette and how to fire your 500-year-old butler. You ask about scholarships. We don't do poor, sniffs the headmaster. You glare, then realize you'll be cleaning their hoverboards forever. You name the mop Steve 11. He doesn't mind. He's seen worse. Since 2025. Healthcare? Eternal vitality for the 1%. You visit a spa. Collagen infusions, now with 0% mortality, chirps a concierge. A socialite lounges. Just my 800th facial, she sighs. You ask about public clinics. Those? She laughs. For people who like waiting. You leave. Then realize you'll be waiting forever. You name the waiting room Kevin X. He sighs, on loop. Entertainment? Eternal escapism for the rich. You sneak into a gala. Holograms dance. Champagne? It's immortal. Like us, winks a host. You sip. Tastes like gold and loneliness. A mogul booms. I've bought Mars. Again? You choke. How? Credit. Eternal credit. You nod. Then realize you'll be paying his interest. Forever. You name the champagne flute Gary 11. It shatters. Then reassembles. Immortal glass. Rude. Justice? Eternal loopholes for the wealthy. You sit in court. The defendant bribed the judge. In 2087, drones the prosecutor. The judge yawns. Statute of limitations? Doesn't apply. We're immortal. The billionaire walks free. See you in 300 years, he winks. You groan, then realize you'll be there, still angry, still poor. You name your rage Steve the 12th. He doesn't fade, ever. Housing? Skyblocks for the elite. You apply for subsidized housing. Waitlist 800 years, says the bot. You ask about penthouses. Available now. Only 10,000 years of your salary. You laugh, then cry, then realize you'll be crying forever. You name your tears Kevin 11. They pool patiently at your feet. Transport? Eternal maglev for the 1%. You board the Platinum Express. Next stop, floor 1 million. Billionaires row, chirps the AI. A mogul naps in a gold-plated pod. Just a 50-year snooze, his assistant whispers. You sit in steerage. Arrival, 2,250. You sigh, then realize you'll be sighing forever. You name the seat Gary 12. It doesn't comfort you. It's leather and immortal. You leave the tower, the rich glow, the poor age, forever. You sigh, then laugh. Why fight it? You toss a coin to Steve X. He catches it. See you in 300, you say. Bring more, he grins. You nod. Kevin 9 glows, Gary X rolls. Steve the 12th rages forever, like you. You stare at the black hole. Step in. Maybe it ends, whispers your therapist. You sigh. Maybe it just stretches. You book a tour. Black hole getaway, spaghettification included, chirps the AI. You pack socks. Immortal socks. Why not, you mutter. The ship launches. You nap for 200 years. Wake up. Approaching event horizon, shouts the pilot. You gulp, then realize you've got time. You name the black hole Steve 13. He doesn't care. He's hungry. Forever. Cryosleep? Eternal nap pods. Trademark. Wake up when boredom ends. You climb in. See you in 3025, beams the tech. You close your eyes. Dream of grass, real grass, not eternal turf trademark. Wake up, 5 minutes later. Glitch, shrugs the tech. Your boredom's immortal, pod can't handle it. You groan, then realize you'll be glitching forever. You name the pod Kevin 12. He beeps, apologetically, for 300 years. Consciousness uploads. Become data. Terms apply. Soul not included. You visit a lab. Just sign here, says the scientist. You'll live in the cloud. With Wi-Fi, you ask about lag. Only 500 years per thought, he shrugs. You decline. Then realize you'll be thinking, slowly, forever. You name the server Gary the 13th. He buffers, patiently, since 2087. Time machines? Visit yesterday. Spoiler, it's worse. You step in, dial 2025. Arrive. Traffic's worse, mutters a passerby. You sigh. At least we died, he stares. We still do. Emotionally, you return. Refund? You ask. Time's non-refundable, says the clerk. You name the machine Steve the 14th. He whirs, pointlessly, forever. Parallel dimensions. Escape to a better you. You jump. Land in Dimension B. Worse, you mutter. Dimension C? Still sighing. Dimension Infinity? Same. But with more llamas, you return. Any better? Asks your therapist. No, but the llamas judged me less. You name the portal Kevin 13. He flickers, indifferently. Forever. Alien contact? They're immortal too, and bored, you meet one. Greetings, we've watched you nap since 2027, it buzzes. You blush. Sorry. Don't be. We nap too. For millennia, it offers tea. Brewed in a black hole. You sip. Tastes like regret. And stardust. You name the cup Gary 14th. He glows. Politely. Forever. Quantum suicide? Infinite use, infinite regrets. You pull the trigger. Wake up. Alternate you died, says the scientist. You didn't. Congrats. You sigh. Do it again? Sure. You've got versions to spare, you pull. Wake up. Again. And again. You name the gun Steve 15. He clicks, uselessly, forever. Ascension? Become one with the void? You meditate for 500 years. Any change? Asks your guru. No, but my knees ache. He nods. The void's busy. Try again in 3029. You groan, then realize you'll be trying forever. You name the void Kevin the 14th. He ignores you, masterfully, since the Big Bang. Religion? God's on vacation. Try again. Never you pray. Any sign? Asks your priest. No, but my Wi-Fi's faster. He sighs. Divine interventions, delayed. You nod. Then realize you'll be waiting. Forever. You name the prayer Steve the 16th. He echoes. In empty cathedrals. Forever. You slump. Escapes? All fail. You sigh, then laugh. Why fight it? You nap. Steve the 13th waits. Kevin the 12th beeps. Gary the 13th buffers. Forever. Like you. You pick up a paintbrush, not to escape, to exist. Cosmic art, because why not? Reads your studio sign. You paint nebulae, on ceilings, on sidewalks, on immortal llamas. It's abstract, says a critic. You nod. Like eternity? He buys a piece. For my 300-year sigh room. You name the painting Steve 17. He glows, softly, in the dark. Forever. Philosophy? Now, eternal pub chats. You join one. What's the point? Slurs a thinker. There isn't one, you shrug. Perfect, he toasts. You clink mugs. To meaninglessness, the bartender nods. Bestseller topic since 2027. You write a book, The Sighing Void, A Guide to Nothing. It tops charts. For 40 years, then replaced by Sentient Toaster's memoir. You don't care. You're immortal and slightly drunk. Gardening? Interstellar botany, grow roses on Mars. You plant seeds in red dust. They'll bloom, eventually, promises NASA. You water them with recycled tears. Kevin the 8th's filtered ones. The roses? They sprout, slowly. You name them Gary 15. They wilt. Then revive. Immortal flora. Of course, you nap beside them for 100 years. They grow thorns to protect you from nothing. Music? Eternal symphonies for the patient. You compose one. The Ballad of Steve, I to 17. 17 movements, each 500 years long. You premiere it. The audience, one critic. He naps through movement 3, wakes for movement 12. Haunting, he mumbles. You bow. He applauds. For 80 years. You name the symphony Kevin 15. He echoes. In empty concert halls, forever. Dance? Cosmic ballet, float through asteroids. You enroll. First lesson, gravity's optional, says the instructor. You leap. Float past Saturn's rings. Graceful, she lies. You crash, heal instantly. Again, she commands. You leap. For 200 years, name your tutu Gary the 16th. He flares. In 0G, forever. Cooking? Millennium recipes. Stew that outlives civilizations. You simmer a pot. Since 2025. Add size for flavor, suggests a chef. You sigh. Into the broth. It bubbles. Darkly. You name it, Steve 18. He simmers. Patiently. On your stove. Forever. Writing? Epic sagas for the time-rich. You pen. The infinite sigh. 10,000 pages. Chapter 1. The yawn that shook the universe. Critics call it ambitious. You nap. Through the reviews. Wake up. Chapter 2. The nap that redefined time. You name the manuscript Kevin the 16th. He gathers dust. Proudly. On your shelf. Forever. Teaching? Eternity 101. How to breathe forever. You stand before students. Step 1. Inhale. They inhale. Step 2. Exhale. They exhale. Step 3. Repeat. For 10,000 years. They nod. Take notes. On Immortal parchment. You name the chalkboard Gary 17. He erases. Slowly. Between centuries. Forever. Community? Eternal potlucks. Bring a dish. Stay forever. You host one. I brought sigh-shaped croissants, beams Zayn Malik. I brought immortal champagne, toasts the sentient toaster. You serve Steve the 18th stew. They eat. For 80 years. Name the event Kevin 17th. He recurs. On your calendar, forever. You step back. Purpose? Not found. Created. You sigh, then laugh. You paint. You write. You dance. You simmer stew. Forever. Like Steve 17, like Gary 15, like Kevin 15, like you. You sit, not to wait, to be. The dance of forever reads your new mantra. You sway, not to music, to time. Slow, patient, eternal. The stars blink. You blink back. Still here? They whisper. Still here, you murmur. You name the moment Steve 19th. He doesn't move. He doesn't need to. He's already everywhere, like you. Memories, you let them flow. The cringe, the joy, the llama. You don't delete. You curate. Folder, worth keeping. Subfolder. Even the size. You add the divorce, the off-key recital, the immortal stew. They glow, softly, like embers. You name the folder Kevin 18. He hums. In your chest, forever. Relationships? You stop counting centuries, start counting moments. The shared popcorn, the paint-drying dates, the croissant breakfasts with Zane. We're still here, he shrugs. Might as well laugh. You laugh. It echoes, in empty elevators, in silent skies. You name the laugh Gary 18th. He doesn't fade. He multiplies. Work? You quit chasing purpose. Start planting it, like roses on Mars, like symphonies in voids, like stew on stoves. It won't end, says your therapist. Good, you smile. Neither will I. You name the stove Steve XX. He simmers, contentedly, without deadlines, forever. Boredom? You welcome it, not as enemy, as companion. The quiet between notes, the pause between breaths, the nap between naps. You sigh, into your stew. It bubbles, happily. You name the sigh Kevin 19th. He floats. To the ceiling and stays. The future, you stop fearing it, start watering it. With tears, with laughter, with immortal socks. What's next? Asks a child. More, you say. Just more. She frowns. That's it? You nod. That's everything. You name her Gary 19. She skips away, leaving footprints in stardust. The past? You stop running from it. Start framing it. The bad tattoos, the worse haircuts, the 800-year grudges. You hang them on your wall. Look how far we've sighed, you whisper. They wink. Back. You name the wall Steve 21. He doesn't judge, he remembers. The present? You stop scrolling, start tasting it. The stale croissant, the lukewarm coffee, the immortal lint. It's enough, you murmur. The lint glows. Faintly, in agreement. You name it, Kevin 20. He clings. To your sweater, proudly, forever. You stand. Not to leave, to begin. Again, and again, and again. You paint, you write, you dance, you sigh, you laugh, you simmer, you breathe, you blink, you are, not despite forever, because of it. You name yourself Gary XX. You don't need a number. You're infinite. You smile at the stars, at the stew, at the lint, at you. Dance with me, you whisper. To time, to eternity, to Steve, Kevin, Gary. They dance. Already. You join them. Not perfectly. Not forever. Just now, and now, and now, forever, like you. The weight of forever used to crush you. Now, it cradles you, like a hammock strung between galaxies. You don't fight the endless Tuesdays anymore. You nap in them. You've learned to sip time like lukewarm coffee. Bitter, yes, but strangely comforting in its constancy. The panic, the rage, the desperate scrambles for exits, gone. Not because you found answers, because you stopped needing them. Immortality isn't a problem to solve. It's a rhythm to sway to. A slow, patient waltz with the void. You paint nebulae on your ceiling not to escape, but to say, look, even here, I make beauty. You simmer stew for centuries not because you're hungry, but because the act itself is a quiet rebellion against meaninglessness. The llamas still judge you. The socks still vanish. The croissants still taste faintly of 2027. And that's okay. More than okay. It's enough. You've stopped counting the Steves, the Kevins, the Garys. They're not markers of madness anymore. They're companions, echoes of a self that learned, finally, to breathe inside infinity. The stars haven't stopped blinking. You haven't stopped blinking back. And somewhere in the space between heartbeats that stretch across millennia, you found it. Not purpose, but peace. A deep, quiet knowing that forever isn't a sentence. It's a canvas. And you? You're the artist, the art, and the audience all at once. So tell me, weary traveler of endless time, what color will you paint your next Tuesday?